Just because we wore a uniform doesn't mean everybody owes us a standing ovation for the rest of our lives. Yeah, I said it. Our service might explain why we're the way we are. It does not excuse us turning into that guy everybody avoids at work, at the bar, at the family cookout, or in line at Costco when the free sample lady runs out of meatball. I'm Tug. Welcome back to Old Salty Bastards, the show. Let's get salty. Today's topic might piss off a few people, which means we're probably right on schedule. Being a veteran does not automatically make you right. There, I said it. Before someone starts chewing through their phone case, rage typing with one finger like an angry raccoon who found a Red Bull, sit down. I ain't saying service doesn't matter. I ain't saying sacrifice don't matter. Both are earned, both real, so unclench. But respect and worship are two different things. And somewhere along the way, some guys started acting like the DD-214 came laminated from God himself with a lifetime coupon, good for one free asshole pass, redeemed daily. No, brother, your DD-214 proves you served. It's not a permission slip to be a walking hemorrhoid in cargo shorts. And I say that with love, mostly. Some guys served 4 years, 20 years, whatever. And now every conversation's a TED Talk about their service record. Somebody says, man, traffic was bad today. Here comes Sergeant story time. Oh, you think traffic's bad? Try riding in the convoy outside of Fallujah. Okay, damn, Bill. I was explaining why I was 5 fucking minutes late to the staff meeting, not applying for a combat action ribbon. Somebody says they're tired. Oh, you don't know what tired is until you've been awake 36 hours on deployment. Should we clap, or are you going to keep whipping it out and measuring till you win? Every disagreement becomes, well, you didn't serve, so you don't get an opinion. Every coworker is weak. Every HR policy is communism. Every new piece of technology, apparently the final proof America has fallen. At some point, brother, that ain't pride. That's your whole personality wearing dog tags. And look, I get it. Going from mission structure, rank, brotherhood to sitting in a meeting, listen to Brandon explaining PowerPoint like he's cracked the Da Vinci Code because he switched the font from Calibre. That's a hard landing. Because here's the thing nobody wants to admit. You can survive deployments, bad chow, leadership that couldn't lead a horse to water if the horse was already drinking it. Guys snoring like wounded livestock in burden. All of it. You embrace the suck. But one office printer, fully stocked, fully plugged in, flashing paper jam, with zero fucking paper anywhere in the building. Flying straight to your face, that thing will bring a grown man to his knees. Not the war. The war you can handle. It's the laser jet gaslighting a decorated veteran at 1500 on a Friday that has you questioning things a chaplain can't fix. This isn't just veterans either. Cops, firefighters, paramedics, ER nurses, anybody who lived in that high stakes world and had to learn how to operate around regular people again. Some people come home and rebuild. Some people come home and just fighting everyone around them. Then you wonder why nobody wants to deal with them. Now, plenty of civilians are clueless. Plenty of managers could lead ants to a picnic with a trail of sugar and a laminated map. I'm not pretending the world makes sense. Half the time, I don't fucking make sense. I've walked into rooms and forgot why the hell I was there and gotten mad at the room like it betrayed me. If every room you walk into becomes a problem, eventually you got to ask if you're bringing the problem in with you. Sometimes nobody respects veterans anymore. It's true. But sometimes what really happens is people respect your service. They just got tired of your attitude. That's the line. You can be proud of what you did without using it as a weapon. You can tell every story without taking every conversation hostage. And you can call out weakness and laziness without becoming the same bitter bastard you used to complain about. You know the guy. Starts every sentence with what I was in. Can't let anybody else have a bad day because his was worse. Thinks trauma is some sort of competition. No, being broken means you've gotten work to do. Inside the military, rank matters. Time matters. The uniform carries weight. You walk in, people know where you fit. Then you get out, and suddenly no one gives a damn what your rank was. You go from being chief, gunny, sergeant, lieutenant to being Dave from accounting, or the new guy trying to figure out why the paper says paper jam when there's no fucking paper jam. The world outside doesn't automatically know your history. Because they don't know, some guys start forcing it into every interaction. There's a difference between sharing your experience and reminding everyone you suffered more than they did. Coworkers say, "Man, I'm exhausted." You jump in with, "You don't know how tired you until you've been awake for 36 hours on a deployment." It may be true, but what you've accomplished, you didn't help. You did connect. You told somebody their problem didn't count because you had a better backstory. That's not strength. That's emotional gatekeeping with a DD-214. Some guys don't miss the military. They miss being important, being needed, being the guy people came to. And when that disappears, they spend years trying to recreate it in the wrong places, trying to outrank their spouse, which is a bad idea. Your wife doesn't care what your car device used to be. She cares that you left dishes in the sink and missed the laundry basket from 6 inches away. Trying to command their coworkers, try to discipline their kids like Junior listed. Discipline translates. Accountability translates. Come under pressure translates. But barking orders at civilians like they're standing inspection does not translate. Telling your 7-year-old to square away his room when he's covered in cereal dust does not translate. If you're giving your wife a verbal counseling because the grocery list lacked proper formatting, report to medical, your head's lodged up your ass. Your service gets you respect at the start. Your character decides if you keep it. People will respect that you serve. They will judge you how you talk to the waitress, how you talk to your spouse, how you act when you're not in charge. And that's a real question worth sitting with. Have you actually tried to help people understand what you went through, or did you just punish them for not already knowing? You want people to respect what you went through, but you act like they're weak for asking questions. You want people to care, but you make it damn near fucking impossible to get close. Then you blame them for backing off. That's barbed wire around the house and then complaining because no one fucking visits. The goal is seasoned, not spoiled. Seasons means you went through fire and learned something. Spoiled means you went through fire and think everybody owes you a favor. Forever. Time for one of my favorite parts of the show. Am I the salty asshole? You take a situation, strip out the internet drama, cut around 40% of the emotional nonsense, and figure out who's actually wrong, whether the whole cast needed a timeout and a juice box. Here's the letter. I work with a guy who's a veteran. We'll call him Mark. Mark served years ago, and I respect that. I've got nothing against veterans. The problem is Mark brings it up constantly. Someone's tired. Mark explains nobody knows tired unless they've deployed. Someone complains about management. Mark says civilian leadership is weak. A younger coworker makes a mistake. Mark says this generation would never survive the military. Last week in a team meeting, a coworker was explaining he was overwhelmed. His wife's been sick. His kids having trouble in school. Before he could finish, Mark jumps in. Yeah, well, try dealing with real stress sometimes. Some of us didn't get to cry about it when we were in. The room got quiet. Guy looked embarrassed. I finally snapped and said, Mark, not everything is about you being a veteran. Other people are allowed to have problems too. Mark got pissed, said I disrespected his service, stormed out. Now a couple people think I should apologize. Others say they were glad somebody finally said it. So am I the salty asshole for telling my coworker not all about him being a veteran? Tug's breakdown. No, with a little seasoning. Mark being a veteran isn't a problem. Mark weaponizing his veteran status in every conversation is the problem. That's like owning a fire extinguisher, useful when needed, annoying as hell if you spray everyone with it every time they light a birthday candle. If Mark's struggling, that matters. But none of that gives him the right to dismiss everybody else's problem like they're playing pretend. Sick wife, kids struggling in school. Is that deployment stress? No. But pain isn't a damn contest. Instead of using his experience to help people, Mark uses it to outrank their suffering. That's not leadership. That's insecurity and camouflage. Should you have pulled him aside privately? In a perfect world, yeah. But Mark didn't embrace that coworker privately. He did it in a meeting. He chose the room. You responded in the room. That matters. Would I go back and say something one-on-one? Yeah. Not to apologize for the message, to apologize for the delivery. There's a difference between I'm sorry I disrespected your service and I'm sorry it blew up in the meeting, but I stand by what I said. That's the adult move. I hate the adult move. The petty move has snacks. The petty move has fireworks, but the adult move is usually the right way. You can respect someone's service and still hold them accountable. Those aren't enemies. If Mark wants to live by military standards, he should understand being checked when he's out of line. The guy with the sick wife didn't need a lecture on weak civilians. He needed basic human decency. Cooling, not the salty asshole. A little sharp on delivery, maybe, but the core message was dead on. But I tell you to say to Mark, pull him aside. Once things cool off, I respect that you served. I'm not taking that away from you, but when people talk about their problems and you turn it into a comparison, it shuts people down. I could have said it better, but I meant it. Other people are allowed to struggle too. That's fair. Don't grovel. Don't hand him a fake apology that lets him pretend the problem's everyone else. And Mark, if you're listening, or you're Mark adjacent, people aren't mad you served. They're exhausted because you keep making them file an emotional request chit before they're allowed to have a bad day. So knock it off.
Quite a lot of them are uncooperative. Some of them have had a little bit to drink, and smart alecks. You know, you go up and approach them in a very calm, collect manner, and they tend to lip you off. You ask them very nicely to leave, that they're endangering the public and possibly themselves, and they swear at you, they tell you to get lost, mind your own business. So it's quite a problem for us, really.
So here's the whole episode in one sentence. Your service can get you a seat at the table. Your character decides if anybody wants to sit next to your fucking ass. Be proud of your scars. Tell the stories. The second you start using your past like a weapon instead of a resume, you're not the hero of the story anymore. You're just a guy everybody quietly is avoiding at the cookout. Trauma explains the behavior. It doesn't excuse it forever. Earn the respect every day, not just the one day you sign the paperwork. Don't be the reason everyone finds an excuse to leave the room. This is Tug. Stay salty, magnificent bastards.